for the vacant heavyweight championship of Europe. There's Pricey. That's how I like to see a heavyweight look. Pensive. I like to see him look serious and I don't see too many jokes. He's walking to the ring. I think it's the most important fight of his life.
Biggest fight of his life, because if he loses, where does he go?
And for Erkan Teper, it will forever change his life. I'm going to hand you over to our commentary team. It's going to be the former WBO super featherweight champion of the world, Barry Jones. And the first voice you're going to hear as Pricey makes his way to the ring is the smooth voice of boxing, Mr. John Roy.
Thank you, Steve. David Price first to the ring, to the familiar sound of Jerry and the Pacemakers and the anthem of his beloved Liverpool Football Club. I'd go along with what Steve was saying, Barry. I think this is absolutely key to David Price's whole career now. He's got to win tonight.
Yeah, I know, it's horrible to say. It's all about confidence with David Price, and you know, you want it to be nice and relaxed, but this is it's a European title fight, which is enough status on its own. But the pressure of not being able to perform at this level might sadly spell the end maybe for him. But
those 2 defeats against Tony Thompson, 4 morale-boosting victories since then. And you can hear there's plenty of support. They've made their way across in numbers.
Sein Gegner rufen wir in die blaue Ecke. Aus Deutschland, Erkan Teper!
Erkan Teper, 33 years old, undefeated. Beat Michael Sprott and Martin Rogan, admittedly at the tail end of their careers, inside a round. He is heavy-handed, Barry, but having watched him, he's not exactly fleet-footed.
And that's perfect for David Price. For me, this guy's a good fighter and he can bang, and that's always a worry with David Price. But if David Price goes out there confident with in that jab, makes a long, solid jab, I think he can bust this guy up.
Surprise victory last time out when he beat Manuel Char. He's beaten Johan Duhaupas of France as well. And said earlier on, they're fighting for a lot of cash here tonight. Purse of almost €250,000 between them. Erkan, very good in light welterweight, involved in his training. Fought a who's who of fighters, didn't he? Vivian Harris, Costa Zoo, Cotto.
Big fighters, and only lost to them, to be honest. He beat everyone else around him. Eamon McGee got a decision over the really good Eamon McGee. You know, a good fighter, so he got a good technical training in his corner.
Teper certainly likes a smile. He looks very, very relaxed and has done all the way through the evening. Talked about David Price looking a little bit tense to my way of looking at it. He looks so relaxed.
Ich darf Sie bitten, sich von Ihren Plätzen zu erheben für die Nationalhymnen von beiden Boxern.
Stirring rendition, and David Price joining in with every word. Well, almost getting round to the business end of this. And formal final introductions to be made by Tobias Gerald.
European Boxing Union Supervisor und Präsident Bob Luschis aus Belgien. Die Punktrichter, the three judges scoring this bout ringside are Giuseppe Quattrone aus Italien, Francesco Alesa Rosa aus Spanien und Ansi Periocchi aus Finnland. Und wenn die Glocke ertönt, hat nur ein Mann das Sagen, unser Ringrichter aus Italien, Massimo Borovecchio. Das sind die Details zu beiden Boxern. In der roten Ecke, 32 Jahre alt, 2,3 Meter groß. Er wurde gewogen mit 113,1 Kilogramm. Er ist Profi seit 2009 und das mit folgendem Kampfrekord. 21 Kämpfe, 19 Siege, 16 davon durch Knockout. Er wird betreut durch Francis Smith aus Liverpool, Großbritannien. David Price!
Sounds more like the Echo Arena here.
Sein Gegenüber in der blauen Ecke. 33 Jahre alt, 1,95 Meter groß, gewogen mit 114,3 Kilogramm. Er ist Profi seit 2010 und das mit einer lupenreinen Bilanz. 14 Kämpfe, 14 Siege, 9 davon durch Knockout. In seiner Ecke sein Trainer Oktay Urkal von der Z-Promotion. Er kommt aus Aalen. Erkan Teper!
A feisty atmosphere, to say the least. An experienced Italian referee in Massimo Borovecchio. And 12 rounds now for the vacant European title. Price, you can see, the taller man, taller than most people he fights.
No rapid punch, watch your head, no low blow, check your hands.
The diminutive referee giving final words of advice. He's also 5 kilos heavier, weighing in just less than 18 stone, David Price. Teper, altogether fleshier sort of figure. Price has 13 wins inside 3 rounds. Teper has just the 6. We're talking back in the studio about Sinan Samuel Sam. I commentated on that fight against Danny Williams when he beat the British champion. And Sam had a similar sort of style to Teper. He sort of walks people down and then was heavy-handed when he gets there. Not exactly fleet of foot, Teper, but he can hit.
But that's where a solid jab comes into play. That's where David, who sometimes can be tentative with it, needs to really push it out hard.
There's a right hand, early power shot from Teper, and Price wanted to hold on, and he's caught by another. Fast start by the German. Well, they'll have studied David Price, and they'll know that the jab is absolutely key to him, and now Price is trying to get onto the front foot. And really fast start to this fight.
I think David Price might have just a little cut as well on the corner of the left eye. Just getting a little bit too close. He's trying to hold Teper, but the problem is Teper is short, and he can just dip his legs and then throw the punches over the top. So Price needs to keep it nice and long.
Teper went in again, swinging and looking for those big headshots. I think the key factor in this fight so much is the mindset of David Price, his confidence. He's a terrific on-top fighter, but against Tony Thompson, we saw what tension can do, and he's clipped again there.
Just turning the shoulder there, away from the right hand, but that'll take a left hand there. Price just allowing Teper to get hit a little bit too close.
Teper's landed some solid right hands in this opening round.
That's a good right hand, yeah, good.
Oh, rocked him back with that second jab. And you can see he's got a physicality about him. He's got bull-like strength, the German.
He's rough, isn't he? Rough and tough. But when he does charge forward like that, that's when Price needs to throw that uppercut. But you've got to be a long right uppercut.
Like that. Not a lot of blood coming from that damaged left eye. It's going to be work in the corner for Franny Smith and his team. A lot of success with that overhand right, Teper, as he throws in, trying to unload once more with the similar shot.
To be fair though to David Price, he's been hit a little bit too easy for my liking, but he hasn't panicked yet, and that's good. That's a mental change for David Price. Not panicking under pressure.
If something dramatic happens in this last 30 seconds, though, it's going to be an opening round for the German, I think.
Just pouring with that jab there, Price. There's a lot that allows Teper just to walk through it, get close and then unload.
Well, that's his style, isn't it? Just walking people down, and Price is allowing him to do it. He's allowing Teper to fight his sort of fight, and he's taking the opening round.
Yes, definitely. But Price has the power in either hand, so if he just steps forward with that left jab, Teper walks onto it, he won't be so gung-ho and coming forward then.
It's up to Erkan. Words of advice for the German favourite. Meanwhile, in the opposite corner, they're working away on that damaged eye. See if we can see how it came. I wonder if that's the one. Yep, it was the punch.
Good jab. Look at that though, the advantage is sometimes of being the shorter guy. Just be able to dip your legs and throw the jab on an upward angle. Hard to defend against, and also you can push with your legs, generate some power in that left hand. Just out-hustled David Price in that wrong, but Price didn't panic. That was a good sign, I think. Still looked nice and relaxing. He's not out of breath, as we've seen him in the past when he's been under pressure. So, you know, no whole hope is gone yet. I just think he needs a solid jab and not always move back in straight lines either. He's just coming back in straight lines, allowing this guy to come forward. Just take a spin off on the angle.
I wonder how much of a problem that eye injury is going to be. You've got a lot of grease smeared around the eyelid, as you saw. That's going to help his vision.
That's good from Price, though. Through two punches, dip one way, dip the other way, and then span off the ropes. Not become the stationary target for this guy to unload.
Teper trying to show that he's the tough man, that he's the puncher.
Oh, beautiful shot.
Oh, dear, 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 dear. Well, it is all going horribly wrong, and I think it's all over. Referee stopped it. Price is out, and it's all gone wrong in the second round. A great shot from Erkan Teper, and David Price, well, where, oh, where from here?
Being tall, being a bigger fight with a bigger reach is so much great advantages to have, except you had a bigger target to hit when you stood upright. As David was there, Teper threw the right hand. I don't think he connected with that, but jumped into the left hook from an upward angle, generating all that power. A beautiful left hook, and Price had no chance to get enough.
Sad scenes here in Germany. A very, very happy new European champion, Erkan Teper. David Price, though, badly knocked out. And I wonder where, if anywhere, he goes from here.
It's hard though, isn't it, to be honest, but it really is. He's fine. The main thing is he's up, he's fine. I think it was a good shot. He disconnected. I don't think there was that much weight behind the shot that it had him in trouble. I think just the clearness of the shot, he didn't see it and he disconnected him and put him out for a few seconds. He's just gutted now, isn't he? Where he goes is hard now. You know, he built back up quite well after the two Thompson defeats. But now beat by a guy, to be honest, who's strong, but really David Price should have beat him, to be honest, let's be honest. But we would always fancy David Price to do a number on a guy like this. It's another rebuilding case for him again.
It's anarchic in there, talking to him before the verdicts come, but this is how the end came. Talk us through it, Barry. Right hand and then the left. Out you go.
He threw that right hand up. Again, the advantages of being the smaller fight. I've said it 3 times already in this fight. But he threw the right hand, he missed, but David just turns a little bit to his right and sort of squares himself up for that left hook. And it was a lovely shot. He didn't see it, right on the button, and he's out before he hits the floor. And it's heavyweight boxing, this can happen, but I think with that tentative jab of David, allowing Erkan to come forward, and I think that would Teper to come forward, that's the problem.
The jab was always going to be such a key, wasn't it, for David Price? And whether it was tension or lack of belief when he gets up to this level higher, but he just didn't throw it as we know he can.
I think, you know, obviously he's a product of that amateur boxing at that time where the jab was just a fencing weapon, but he likes to tap you with it to set you up for the distance for the right hand, which is not bad, but sometimes you need to throw a solid jab just to keep the guy from walking through you.
Sickening defeat for David Price.
But a great result for this kid. No, he just beat the former Olympic medalist, and he's a European champion. And, you know, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a call from one of the world champions.
Oh, where from here exactly? It's a easy one to make, I guess. I should imagine that if Vladimir Klitschko comes through against our man in the autumn, if he comes through, what date was it? I was trying to clutch the date out of my mind of the Tyson Fury fight, but if he comes through that, then Erkan Teper is a huge fight in Germany.
But I think you probably want to try and make a fight before October, to be honest. I think, you know, you think Wilder got a fight in September. I don't know if you've got an opponent named.
Anthony
also,
Joshua.
Shagayev, who's WBA regular champion. I suppose they would fancy this. There's plenty of options for this kid now. Look, whatever you think about David Price, he's still a name. And he's still a name to beat.
Tell you what, I mean, there are still people out there who question Anthony Joshua. If you did a number on this fella, that would say something. Yeah,
well, Anthony Joshua got his own Commonwealth title fight coming up now, but that would be another good fight. Listen, it's funny because one punch can change your career.
Fighters to the center.
Where your career's going. Now this kid, all of a sudden, now got all the world to him, and David Price has only got a few doors left open.
So the fighters drawn together. The European Champions belt will be strapped around the waist of Erkan Teper. And David Price, I'm afraid to say, faces some very, very awkward questions now of himself after what has turned out to be a personal disaster of a night, but a great victory for Erkan Teper.
A personal disaster of a night, and that was writ large on Price's face there. A terrible night, a horrible outcome. Point of the chin, left hook out, as Barry Jones correctly said, for 2 or 3 seconds, and then back. Steve, it was the worst nightmare, not just for Pricey, but for his fans. And as we said on Twitter today, I've never seen so much love for a British fighter in a fight.
A lot of us said to you on your show earlier, Steve, Billy Joe Saunders was saying how popular he was. You know what, a crushing loss, possibly career-crushing loss, Steve. And yeah, you hate that, but you really do wonder where he goes at a higher level now. I'm gutted for him. But you know what, Steve, as gutted as we are for David, you've got to give credit to Teper. He was on him straight away.
Okay, Erkan was screaming at him, get close. You could see him doing closing the gap.
Beforehand, he was just going to go, and I suspected that's what he might do, and he did it. A perfect shot. You know, the knockout would take out a lot of fighters, not just David. But you know, he's had 4 wins recently, David, not against the most testing opposition after those 2.
But understandable after the 2 defeats.
Oh, nothing wrong with the way the Sauerlands have matched him. They thought they'd get a lot of money tonight, 125,000 euros, but they were backing their man tonight, Sauerlands, by letting him go away from home in Germany. And and having the fight.
Well, I know one thing with Pricey and Franny Smith. They're not in they're not in the deception game.
No.
They're in the reality game, and they'll be sitting in that changing room now. And let's get it right. You know, they're not going to say everything was going right, because it wasn't. They're being bullied around the ring. They weren't panicking, as John Rawlings said, but they weren't having any effect up until the point of that knockout.
Well, he was cut earlier on. That wasn't a bad cut, but it was still been playing on his mind. He didn't have the best first round, but he was doing the right things at times, holding, and then you can't account for that sweeping left that come across and ended his European title challenge.
It's an amazing thing, confidence. In all the weights, it's important. Barry Jones will tell you how important it is when he was a bantam, when he was a feather, when he was a super feather. Middleweights will tell you about confidence. Nigel Benn will talk about it constantly. But with heavyweights, it is almost, when it's much of a, when two fighters are balanced, it is the factor. That confidence. Heavyweights have to fight confident. Joshua fights confident. Mike Tyson fought confident. Fight it. As soon as they lose that degree of confidence, they're stuffed. Lennox Lewis, when he gets